Okay, so this video is probably not going to give like the happy joy tease. This is why I was advising you that there may be some trigger warnings in this video, but we are going to have this discussion today. I feel like I need to adjust the light because it's not giving me what I need. I shall return. My goodness, this damn light. Oh, that looks a little better. Okay, so I have on pajama pants here. Y'all can see them now. Mm. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. So let's get into this topic. Oh, so yesterday I was watching all day long this video, this series called Jamestown. And it brought up a lot for me. Like I wrestled with that content all day. I kind of like binge watched the season. And it brought out a lot for me. Yeah, it brought up a lot for me. Um I don't look at the world the same way I looked at the world 5 years ago, or even 3 years ago. Going to Africa and coming back and having a chance to look at this from different angles. And this is why I advise people more than anything to get out of your comfort zone. You know, that's the only way you can really see what the world is really hitting for, and also the ways in which we contribute to the society that none of us really want. Um, this Mother's Day is difficult for me because me and my mother, my biological mother, are having issues. We're having challenges. Um, we've hit a wall in our communication. Um, I think at this point, I pretty much just need to accept who she is, and sometimes that's hard to accept because I'm not under the delusion that who my mother is has no impact on me. because I'm I come from her DNA and my father's DNA. So I'm not under the delusion that who my mother and who my father are have no impact on me, whether they are in my life or not. I am a part of their DNA. I am a product of their union, of the mixing of their DNA. And so avoiding any of her personality traits, her quirks, the things that made her who she is, like avoiding that, there's no avoiding that. And so I feel like we all are mirrors of each other, but I feel like our ancestors are our direct mirror. Like this is a up close mirror. Like everybody is a mirror. Like everybody in society, everybody in community, everyone who I know, they serve as a mirror and a reflection of my being because in my faith and my belief, lay live, lay learn, we all come from source and we are all fragmented particles and pieces of that divine source. Now, my mother and my father, they are that direct connection. They're that up close and personal look into what I'm capable of being, what I could become. You know, also sometimes they show me what I don't want to do, what I don't want to become. You know, so right now, me and my mother, we're in a difficult place. And in her mind, she feels justified. And in my mind, I feel like what I said, I wish I wouldn't have had to say. I wish I wouldn't have felt provoked to say. I wish I wouldn't have needed to say. Do I have remorse about what I said? Absolutely. But I also understand that sometimes the villain is necessary. Today, I'm in this place of I understand the necessity for the villain. I may not want to root for that person. I may not agree with that person, but I understand the need for a villain, the perceived villain. Villains create conversation, they create a game, they create adversity. They some people could see the rain as a villain, but farmers definitely don't see the rain as a villain. If you getting up to go to work and your job has nothing to do with agriculture, then you would probably see the rain as a villain. Some people, if you want to go to the beach and it's cold outside, you might see winter as a villain. But that doesn't negate that the winter is necessary to cool the earth down, to cool emotions down, to cool tempers down. Because y'all notice when it warm up, crime start going up, violence start going up, people start getting crazy and doing crazy stuff because it's hot outside. So the villain is necessary. People may not get it. People may not get it, but they're necessary. So I'm in this place. The spirit that has you dressed in like the opposite sex comes from one of your parents, whatever one or both were doing it in the dark, came to manifest through you. Um, I know in your mind you feel like that what you're saying is a conscious thing, but nobody did anything in the dark. My daddy grew up in the pimp time. So, he was wearing perms and long fingernails, and that's not exclusive to him. You know, that that's not just for one sex or the other. My daddy came from a mother and a father. And so it makes sense that he would exhibit masculine and feminine behavior. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not a secret. It's nothing wrong with it. We live in a society that says it's wrong because it's one sided, because we pray to a man in the church and we elect men into politics. We live in a one sided reality. We don't live in a whole and complete reality. This is a piece of a whole. In reality, there's no such thing as men's clothes and women's clothes. The only thing that makes a man and a woman different from each other is sexual parts for the purpose of procreating. But in spirit and in soul, it's one thing that's separated in order to have experiences. But genitalia does not make you a woman, and genitalia does not make you a man. It makes you XX and XY. Society makes you a man and a woman. Man's need to control, to conquer, to feel like he's superior, to feel like he's powerful, to feel like he knows everything, to try to control a story that was not meant to be controlled. It was just meant to be. I can dress, look, be however I choose because I come from the whole one. I come from something that was more than man, more than woman. I come from something that's everything and nothing. So I can be anything and everything I choose to be because I don't have to live in a box that society created for me. This is not even about homosexuality. Like, I think that a spirit of homosexual is a byproduct of the is a byproduct of the present of the perversion of heterosexuals. Yeah, I'm talking about what they were doing sexually, how they were dressing. Yeah, so um men and women, it makes sense that a man or a person who was born with a penis would be attracted to both a male and a female because that is where they came from. If I came from a mother, a being who had a vagina, and if I came from a father, traditionally a being who has a penis, then it makes sense that I would love both male and female. The perversion, how homosexuality is a perversion in my mind, is the fact that some people have gotten to the place whereas they don't want any dealings with the opposite sex because they so busy trying to prove that they're like the cisgender people. They're so busy trying to prove that they're like the heterosexual people. That we all were created to be bisexual. I personally think that we were all meant to love, whether it was a vagina or a penis and a vagina. I think we were just meant to love without any boundaries, without any barriers. But society says that a man must be with a woman and a woman must be with a man. And the reason why society says this, in my belief and in my faith, is because a man, a male and a male, a penis and a penis cannot come together and produce offspring to work this plantation. A female and a female cannot come together and produce offspring to work this plantation. Because the world, this plane, is the lowest level. It's the lowest level. When we leave this body and we go into this heaven that everybody's talking about, sex don't matter. Yet it's still full of life. They ain't up there procreating and having sex in heaven. When you go to that other place, you ain't gotta make no babies. Why? Because you back whole. You whole and complete again. You don't have to do that anymore. That's required here to keep this world going. To keep these worker bees, plantation workers. Yeah, like it's all about spirits and nothing about society and science. Believe me, everyone that are homosexual or cross-dressing comes from the lifestyle of their parents. Okay, so this like you're kind of, I'm trying to not be rude to you, but you kind of like sidetracking the video, and you're in a different place in consciousness. Like what you're saying is not inappropriate. That's just where you are, you know. But you came on the wrong video. Like I got a whole lot of, content that addresses all of this. And so you really kind of came on the wrong video to express your point of view. Like you talking about homosexuals, and I'm not even on that. Like nowhere did I bring up homosexuals. I'm not homosexual. First of all, I'm bisexual. So I don't know why you sitting up here talking about homosexuals. And being trans has nothing to do with who you sleep with. Like living my life as a woman is not about being homosexual. It's about how I feel inside. It has nothing to do with who I sleep with. So you need to learn a little more before you try to have this conversation, because right now you looking kind of ignorant because you sitting up here talking about homosexuals, and this video have nothing to do with homosexuality. Like dressing as a female or dressing as a man has nothing to do with who a person sleeps with. That's just how they feel about themselves. This is not the video to educate you on the difference between being trans and being homosexual. Homosexual is who you sleep with. It's who, like if a man who identifies as a man, a person who sees themselves as a man and believes themselves to be a man, is attracted to another man who sees themselves as a man and who identifies with the construct of being a man. Yeah, that's not my religion. That's not my faith. Okay. So I'm not talking to you about the Bible. And now you see that this is not the place for that. Okay. I don't follow the Bible. Okay. So if that's what you follow, then you need to go somewhere where they follow in the Bible. I look at the Bible as a book of stories, but it is not what I follow. That's not what I believe in. And I'm trying not to offend you. So let's keep it cute. Okay? I'm trying not to offend you. If that's what you believe in, then good for you. If the Bible works for you, then use it. But it does not work for me. Okay. So, Mason Gary, you are you are like you on some other stuff, right now. You on some other stuff. This look like, just looking at all of the comments that you leaving, this something you struggling with. Don't make your struggle mine. Like this some stuff that this some stuff you're struggling with. Okay? This stuff you struggling with. Now, in a second, I'm about to block you because this video not about you. Okay? I tried to, listen to what you were saying because I want to be respectful and hear people. Okay, well, if you're not struggling, then either fall back or delete yourself before I do, because that's not what this video is about. You can have your feelings about me. I don't care. I'm not going to lose any sleep. How you feel about me is not going to shape my day today or tomorrow. You don't know me. You can't tell me who I am. You don't know me. You sit up here making all these assumptions, and you know what they say, when you assume, you make an ass out of you. So I could be lost. I could be a man. I could be a cross-dresser. I could be anything that you think I am, long as you don't get to dictate how I see myself. Because what matters is how I see me. Because people going to see us all in different ways. Some people going to look at me and see a nigga. Some people going to look at me and see a faggot. Some people going to look at me and see a goddess. Some people going to look at me and see a queen. Some people going to look at me and see a crackhead. Some people going to look at me and see a prostitute. I am many things to many people. So how you see me is fine. But what matters is how I see myself. So anyway, back to the topic. And like I said, yep, you got to go. I tried. Right. So you and after this video over, I'ma block you. Unwanted pornography, hate speech, or graphic content, harassment. We're gonna go with harassment. Yeah, this is harassing me. How about that? Report. Now, after this video is over, I'll block you. But anyway, back to the topic of discussion, because I tried to entertain him, but when he started talking about Satan and all of this type of stuff, then I know that we can't communicate because we're not on the same level. We're not in the same place of consciousness. You still looking for a boogeyman. You still trying to make somebody a boogeyman, and I'm not about to do that with you, because I know that the boogeyman lives in all of us. Like, we all have darkness in us. We all have light in us, and we have darkness in us. We all have chaos in us, and we all have order in us. We are whole. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm a mess, and sometimes I'm good. Sometimes I'm a good mess. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not fucked up about that. I think other people are, and they haven't done their work on themselves. And so then they come on your platform trying to project their thoughts and where they are onto you and make their issues your issues, make their problems your problems. So the nature of this video was about family, and family is, for me, changing. I'm kind of sad because I grew up in a family setting. I grew up in, you know, we had family homes where we all came together, where we all hung out together. Um, and I miss that. I miss having a family setting where we all came together. But now, people have broken off and they started to do their own things. And because they've broken off and started to do their own things, we don't have the same bond that we used to have. And I'm understanding that it's not going to be that. And our ancestors are very upset, I feel, at how things have become. And you see this because we're starting to lose our history. We're starting to lose our heritage. We're starting to lose the things that our ancestors value, like our connection to the land, our ability to grow fruits and vegetables and to grow our own gardens, like having connection to the soil. Like, we're so in pursuit of what the oppressor tells us is valuable, always wanting some new shiny trinket, some new shiny thing that has been processed and it doesn't have the ability to do what things had the ability to do at one time when we were connected to the earth, when we were connected to the soil. And that's hurtful for me because now I'm in this space where I feel like I have to get my own land. I feel like I have to start the traditions over. Like, and I didn't want to have to do that. It would have been great if I could have went home to my great grandmother's house, or if I could have went home to my grandmother's house, and if I could have started a garden there, and because we living in times that are unpredictable, that are uncertain, and I'm not knocking technology because I use technology. If it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't be able to communicate with y'all right now. I wouldn't be able to put my feelings out and express what I'm going through right now. So I'm thankful for technology. I'm thankful for having this experience to be able to see the world change into the form that it's in, and to be able to tell stories about what I've experienced. I'm thankful to live in New York and to have an opportunity to see the world from a different angle, and I'm thankful that I was able to live in Africa and be able to see the world from that angle. I'm thankful for the airplanes that allow me to travel over there and to see the world in that angle. I'm thankful for all of the progress that we've made, but the more progress that I see and the more progress that happens, it reminds me of what's really important. And what's really important is having a connection to the earth, because the earth is what produces all of these things that we make, this soil, these trees. In its natural state, it sacrifices so much to give us everything that we've manipulated and used to create this world that we live in, this society that we live in. I'm thankful for the surgeons, who played a part in me being able to see myself as my foremothers, being able to physically manifest in a way that gives me a greater connection to my foremothers and shows my loyalty to my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mother, my great great grandmother. Like, I'm thankful what science has done, but science without a heart, science um without consciousness, science without a connection to the roots, which is what we miss often. We be so focused on the tree and the fruit that grow on the tree, we forget to water the roots. We forget to take care of the very thing that keeps the tree standing. We cannot forget where we came from. We cannot forget who we were. We cannot forget who our ancestors were before the Bible. We cannot forget who our ancestors were before the man God. We cannot forget who our ancestors were before America. We cannot forget who our ancestors were before patriarchy. And I think that's the problem now. I think the world is crying, the earth is crying out, the cosmos is crying out. Do not forget me. Do not forget mother. Do not forget the womb. Do not forget the other half of yourself. And I think that this is what my trans experience is about. This is what my Laylim Layler experience is about. It's about reminding our ancestors who have opted to play in this game of warring against yourself, because ultimately, when you war against the feminine, when you war against chaos, when you war against the darkness, when you war against that thing, you're basically warring against yourself. And there's a season for everything. So I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like war is avoidable. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like war is not necessary. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like war doesn't happen. But everything has a season. And I think we're being called back into a season of wholeness so that we can reboot. So that we can start again, and so that these offspring and these children and these beings who are coming into this reality aren't coming into this reality carrying trauma that should have been recycled. Trauma that should have been washed away. Trauma that should have been consumed and absorbed and reincarnated as something that was healed. And a lot of times it's hard for us to heal because when we're having conversations, we don't hear each other. And and that's why I try to hear people. I try to hear people. People don't always want to hear me. And that's something that my foremothers have dealt with for a long time, living in a world where those who identified as men did not want to hear them. They wanted to talk, they wanted to say what they wanted to say, but they didn't want to hear them. And this is a problem. And to speak to what trans people are going through, a lot of trans people have gotten lost on this journey, and I pray that they be found and they remember their purpose and they remember who and what they were created to be, and that they are not ashamed of their wholeness. A lot of trans women have been rejected by the father, and a lot of trans men have been rejected by the mother. Hence, in turn, they have rejected their own mothers and they have rejected their own fathers. But it's time for us to heal. And that is my work. That's my legacy. And I'm telling y'all, I'm honestly thinking about politics. I'm thinking about politics more and more because I feel like there's a party that's not represented. But my fear in going into politics is that the people who make decisions and the people who call the shots are typically the ones who have money. And the ones who have money, a lot of times they don't care about the people that I care about. They don't care about the things that I care about. And so, you know, my struggle is, am, am I going to really be helping people? Is it just my ego, to think that I can make the type of difference that needs to be made? Like, I'm struggling with that. Family is not just biological. I'm gonna close out with this. Family is people who agree with you, and when they don't agree with you, they still try to support you and get out of there. They still try to support you in some way. They still try to support you in some way. Um, and that's important, feeling supported, feeling heard, feeling seen. And that's not always, it doesn't always come from biological family, you know. Sometimes it comes from the people you least expected. So I think that's all I got. I think I did a pretty good job of getting back on topic. Um, no, like, mm, mm, so, I feel like the video was kind of hijacked by this person named Mason. And the funny thing about it is that this person literally came on this live and just said a whole bunch of stuff that really didn't have nothing to do with me. Like I'm reading the rest of the comments now and I'm like, this is not how my family feel. Like this not the argument that me and my mother was having. Like it was nothing about that. Like, and me and my daddy have a beautiful relationship with each other. Like, and I'm learning more and more that people will come on your live and they will talk about something that they going through and something that they struggling with and try to make that yours. Like, this what you're going through, yet you're trying to make this mine. It's a mess. This is what you're going through. Like this is your struggle. And you trying to you want that to be for me. You want you got to get that off of you. You want that to be for me. I know that's right. I light this candle to guide home the ancestors we've lost today and every other day since we've been away from our altar. This candle represents past, present, and future. The past prepares us to be more present in the present so that we can be better prepared for the future. Amen. A woman, they live, they learn. Down to the down that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning and guiding and Yanko Kalukalo. Now, then this how you know this is like a random like in one of the comments he said you're not a real transsexual if you don't have a sex change. You're just a cross-dresser. Then in the last comment he said, you are an embarrassment to your parents with the cross-dressing. So am I a cross-dresser or a transsexual? I don't. Oh, anyway, y'all have a beautiful day. Love y'all. Happy Mother's Day.